Hi, I'm Chuck Barlow, high school Sunday school teacher at Crossgates United Methodist Church in Brandon, Mississippi. Because of the pandemic, we're putting together some video Bible studies or Sunday school lessons for our youth. If you have already been in my class over the last 25 years or whatever, you really don't need to watch this introduction. But if you haven't been in my class, I'd like to give you a few disclaimers and to tell you just a little bit about how I teach, how Crossgates lets me teach, just so we're all on the same page. There are a few rules that I work with in the class. So, rule number one. These videos are meant for Crossgate UMC youth, but all are welcome. These are my own thoughts. They've not been pre-approved by CUMC or anybody else. I mean, normally I'm just teaching this, on a Sunday-to-Sunday basis. These are not scripted videos, and the videos are generally going to be unedited. So, if I mess up, I'm sorry. But we're just running through them. I'm trying to talk to you really like I'm teaching Sunday school, and we'll see how things go. The background was painted for us by an exchange student from Ecuador who we absolutely loved, and he offered to paint this room for us. He is a graffiti artist now in Quito, Andy and Andres Yandun Rodriguez, and very near and dear to our hearts. So we left this room like this after he painted it for us. Rule number 2. These lessons are designed for high school youth. This is high production value. But I will treat you like an adult for as long as you let me. I got to tell you, I've never had a problem with this one at Crossgates. The years that I have taught, I've never had a discipline problem. I've never had a problem with people doing anything other than trying to understand, trying to listen. But you got to know that because I try to teach high school students like they're adults or just about adults, these stories include blood, guts, sex, treachery, deceit, murder, other violence, and very hard questions. And, this is the world of the Bible, and I really don't try to shy away from it. And then we also operate under what I call the Irish rules, and I'll tell you a little bit about what that means. When my children were young, my son in particular was learning how to play guitar, and he was writing his own music and having some success with learning to play the guitar. And there was a particular movie that I really wanted him to see because it was about a garage band. It was an Irish movie, is an Irish movie, and unfortunately it I think holds the record, or maybe comes in second, for having the most curse words per second. Some of them pretty good curse words. So, but I still wanted him to watch the show. So I made the decision, because he was a fairly adult youngin', to let him watch the show. But I had to tell him, look, we don't talk like this. It's part of the culture, in parts of Irish culture. I'm not trying to generalize that to every Irish person, but some of these words just flow, especially in their books, in their art, and it's certainly the same for a lot of other cultures as well. But I had to tell him, we don't talk like that, and there are reasons as a Christian, a matter of our faith, a matter of our culture, we're not going to talk like that. And I also had to tell him that we weren't going to invite his friends over to see this movie, because their parents may really object to it, and I would completely understand. But I wanted him to see the movie, and his little sister got to see it too. They both understood, and it so happened that there were a lot of other pieces of art, films, books that I wanted to expose them to, and I wasn't about to start redlining or redacting the curse words, especially when it was part of the culture. Now, why do I tell you that story? When I teach according to the Irish rules, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not going to edit the Bible, okay? When we're dealing with adultery in the Bible, we're going to talk about adultery. When we're dealing with whatever. When the situations are harsh, I'm not going to redline the Bible. I'm not going to redact the Bible. And I may also talk about some pieces of art or books, movies, or something that you may need to go ask your parents before you go watch them. I certainly try to be sensitive to the fact that this is for high schoolers. I also realize that most high schoolers probably know more about these things these days than I do. So anyway, those are the Irish rules. We're going to go straight through these issues. We're not going to tiptoe around them. I'm not redlining stuff for you. I'll be sensitive about it. If it bothers you, please let me know. I tell my students in person. But that's just where we are. We're going to talk like we're adults here, to the extent possible. Okay, rule number 3. You do not have to agree with me. This is probably the most important rule. I'm here to make you think, not to make you think like me. Respectful disagreement is absolutely okay, and doubt is okay. Alfred Lord Tennyson, English poet, said, "There lives more faith in honest doubt, believe me, than in half the creeds." And I'll tell you, there was a time when I was at a church once teaching a big group of youth, and I told them, a lot of their parents were in there too, and I said, if you've never really doubted John 3:16, if all you've ever done is read it and just gone on to the next chapter, verse, page, if you've never really thought about it, if you never really doubted it, you probably haven't really thought about it. The group that I was speaking to, the parents didn't like that, and they didn't ask me to speak again, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm telling you, I'm here to try to help you think, and that is going to include doubt from time to time, and your life's going to include doubt from time to time. So that's okay. Let's just deal with it. Again, let's be adults. Let's deal with it. Let's talk about it. Rule number 4 kind of goes along with rule number 3. If I or anyone else tells you that they have all the answers or understand everything about God or the Bible, run away as fast as you can. We are all pilgrims on this journey, and I'm just an older pilgrim. So that's it. That's kind of the way I teach. And you are welcome to listen, and you're always welcome to not listen. So that's the introduction. And from here, we'll go on to the first of our lessons in the next little filmy thing. And just since I am a lawyer, there you go. As always, thank you for listening.